You like to sit. I like to sit more than just those guys. But at the end of the day, there's some things to where I think we could still work on as a team, and some chemistry and different things. Like I said, there'll be a couple of guys that'll probably sit, but for the most part, like I said, there's still some things for us to get better at.
Will Durant sit?
At this point, I can't tell you that he would sit. All those guys need to prepare as though they will play right now.
Drew, so you're saying Durant might start, or he might play a quarter or a half?
There you go. Yeah, there you go. I didn't say he would, start or do that, but there's a chance. Like I said, we may approach this like a preseason game for the reps of those guys. And like I said, he may play some time, and it's still too early right now for us to figure out exactly how we'll do it. But all three of the guys have taken reps.
Corey, is it like walking a tightrope because you don't want to, you don't want to dress your regulars, but you don't want to get them hurt, and you want to see them get some reps. So, is it a tough decision to make?
That it's always a tough deal. Like I said, there's too much that I can't predict. So you have to play some guys. It doesn't matter who it is. You like to just sit your whole team, but at the same time, that's always not a positive. So we just have to make sure that the guys that are playing are ready to go.
How do you
There's
build?
been a lot made about the Corey Sheets and incidents. We even saw Des Bryant on Sunday do have something very similar. Can you just talk about the emotion and how coaches and players deal with it on the sideline?
That's the emotions of the game, and in the big games, the emotions are always to be able to play this game, to be able to coach this game. It's a pressure game. It's a high pressure game. You have to have the emotions. The biggest things you have to be able to control them, and sometimes, hey, it's pretty hard to control them. Like I said, we've all been there as a coach or a player.
Is there any discipline or any talking to Corey that's come since that?
No, I mean, one thing I expressed to these guys was we have to make sure, first of all, we have to make sure that there's a time and place for everything. That's the first thing. Secondly, I always want to know if guys have any emotions and feelings, it's okay to let it out. You let it out, and then we know where we stand and move on. Sometimes confrontation is not a bad thing.
Corey,
George walked away from that confrontation too.
Well, George.
That's escalated.
Yeah, well, it's not going to escalate. Like I said, those guys, his name's Corey Cortez. That's his son. So it's just like a dad and his son, arguing with each other. That's all that was. And those guys understand each other. They're true pros, but at the time in the heat of that game, there's some things that you want done different, but sometimes we just have to move forward.
Corey, that being said, do you like the fact that there was some passion shown there and he just didn't sit down and just sort of sulk about it? Because he could have done that as well.
Oh, like I said, the biggest thing, and I told those guys, let's make sure we have some passion. And when you play with that type of energy and that type of emotion, sometimes it spills over. And like I said, once it spills over and cools down, I think it allows us to go forward with an even keel mentality.
I know it's going to be shown every highlight now. It's going to be on. It's one of these things you can walk where you can do it, but it's going to be every Sports Center highlight, sideline shows and stuff. How do you deal with that part of it? Because it's going to come up for the next, at least possibly month.
Well, it keeps the revenue up. I mean, it keeps guys wanting to look at the riders. It keeps the ticket sales. It keeps the leader post paid. All those things. That's a part of football. That's a part of life. No different than the Des Bryant thing. There's so many situations, and us being where we are, things are going to be shown, and that's okay. That's part of football. You just have to learn from them and move on.
After that loss, the Calgary sucks comment, Corey Sheets still saying he's the best running back.
Yeah.
Does your team need a little humility, or members of the team need a little more?
Well, I think that's it's more than just a win. Like I said, the guys. Once you're in that heat of that passion, the guys gonna say that. I mean, you can look at it both ways. It's not about humility. I mean, you guys ask the questions when they're fired up. So, if anything, you guys need to think about, first of all, timing also. I think everything's about it. There's a time to ask a question. There's a time not to. It sells when you get the guys caught up like that and you guys blow it out of proportion. If something like that happened and I asked you right after, you would answer it the same way. That's the out for those guys there. But at the same time, moving forward, I think the guys be better when they're in an even keel mindset and just moving forward and playing ball.
Do you think guys should be interviewed on the field after a game then?
No, I don't think they should. I think it should be a time to debrief. I don't care what's going on. If you guys are in a high pressure situation all the time, you'd answer that a lot different also. Yeah, if you don't believe me, let me put you in one. And then let me ask you some questions after.